Okay, share the. Yeah, okay, so we're continuing. Excuse me, we're talking about Batolin, that you can't delay the payment of a worker. Now we're going to talk about what are some situations where Batolin does not apply. So, Bagemara Tanu Rabbanon, mi mach Mashanema Leisolin Pulasacher Itra in Yedea Shad Baker. If it says Leisolin, so isn't it obvious that until the morning, Matam would lame Ad Baker? So, what is Ad Baker until the morning coming to teach us? Oh, now we're going to start. This is Rav Chazan brought up this yesterday. So now
right. If you're over every boiker afterwards.
Right. So mikan ve'elach mai. What's going to be moving forward? Amarav even mishum bal tishahim. Right. So he says you're not only the first one is bal tol and after is bal tishah. Amar Rav Yosef Maikra. What's
The source for this.
where are you getting this from? I'll tell you my Don't tell your neighbor go and come back tomorrow. But in the meantime, you had the money at the time. So if you have the money at the time, pay him right now. Don't tell him go and come back. Shulchan Aruch. This is going to be Sif Ches. Avrizmani, right? Avrizmani. The time passed. Ein balabais ev mishum baltolin. So he's not meaning again even from baltolin. Umikol makim chayav litin lemiyad, but he's still obligated to give it right away. V'chol eis sheyisha ever alav shel devreihem. Shenemar al teim l'riach v'chulu. So you are, it's right. It comes.
Yeah, because this thing of this mishlei is
Right.
is not it's not the raisa.
Right. It's
This
not a
is
date. It's a mishlei, and
smachta. It's a
Chazal derived.
smachta.
Chazal derived from the Posh the mishlei. So the first day you're over on a deraisa. However, if you continue to wait, you're over on a derabanan. Yeah, of bal tishahid. Don't wait. Shulchan Aruch Harav Heisif Levayd she'im apel schir yom balabais even pam echos beleisas shel teira. So that you're the first time it's a deraisa. V'hainu leisolim pulasachir etchad baker. Kasher magia baker v'lei shilam lei. Well, derech ze im apel schir laila gai beleisas shel teira loi savi l'vashemesh. So depending if it's a day worker or a night worker, will either apply leisolin ad baker or will apply leisavi l'vashemesh. But either case, he's doing he's doing one of those lavin by the first time. Well, derech ze im apel schir laila when we call makim and divri kabbalah chayav litin miyad shetevei la'ilam. The Miri Kabbalah is to give him right away when he claims the money that he's owed. V'chol eisha yishad eved belav shalivri Kabbalah al teim l'reyacha. Uhu shemiskaven l'tchesei. Avol imu torev ein lipnai achshav rashayu leim leishuv lachar zman shi lipnai. So the difference is leisolin is concrete. You gotta pay him by the appointed time, or you're even on deraisa. Whereas this derabanan from continuing to wait, right? Because like it says, v'yeshitcha, and you have it with you. It doesn't just mean and you have it physically with you. It means you have the ability right now to do it. So this derabanan, if you know, it's you have your middle of the daily business call, and the guy knocks on your door. I need your money. No problem. I have money. I'll pay you, but come back at 2:00 when I'm finished with my business call. That's not a problem. It's when you're dafka pushing him off, you're just playing with him, you're toying with him, schlepping him, whatever. Then it's a problem. But if Taka didn't have time, and he tells him just come back, I'll come back, in the afternoon. I have time in the afternoon. I can deal with this. Then it's not a problem.
It seems from here that Baltolin, you're over if you have the money and you're torud. Because the only dispensation that brings over here is only
Yeah, I mean, the question
Loisha.
with Baltolin and what with Baltolin, I think even if you don't have the money,
Okay, but Al Koponim,
right? You should
the
have made sure
case,
to have the money. You hired a guy.
that's true. But I'm saying, but even if you have the money and the guy is, don't worry, I have the money. I'm just right now in the middle of a business call. You see, it's saying that's only
Right,
dispensation.
Baltolin doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't
Baltolin,
make a difference. Yeah.
you got to stop right 100%. Meaning, if it reaches the morning, I don't care you were tired or not tired. You need to make time for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like if it's like if I miss my kirshma because I was tired. Well, I'm sorry, but you missed my kirshma.
Nebuch,
Now in
yeah.
that case, it's an assay, but here it's a love. You know, it's like the carbon pesach. You know what I'm saying? You let the time pass. I was busy. You know, I'm sorry. It's an
This
obligation
is
that I said stop whatever you're doing.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is from the Alter Rebbe. It's a
yeah,
Shulchan Aruch Harav.
yeah.
And where did we say that Alter Rebbe was? He said it's
It's
in
Sif Dalit in the same in it was in Hilchis what was it
so
um what was
we
it
had this
called?
before.
Yeah, what was it called in the Alter Rebbe?
7. I
Uh,
think
Shayla
this
V'Schirus
is
V'Chasima?
yeah Hilchos Shaila
Yeah,
V'Schirus.
Shayla V'Schirus, yeah, V'Chasima, yeah. So there
Yeah,
it's in yeah,
second
yeah.
Hilchos Shaila V'Schirus. Okay.
Fine. Aseicher peil beim Zo Shliach. Ba Gemara, Tana Rabbana im L'Chaveri Yitzei Schili peil im Shneim in Ivrim Mishum Baltolin. Zel fish leis charam, v'zel fish ein pulas yetzei. So if you
Mishum
if you hire them through an agent, there's no balsalin. Why? Because it seems there's two requirements. One is that you have to have hired them, right? It's not, and the other one is that they have to have worked by you. So if one hired them and they worked by somebody else, why? Loshna posuk leisolin pulas sachir itcha. Ulagabi balabai yisish kan chisarin be sachir. Why? He wasn't the one who did the hiring.
It was
And by the
Shalich,
shliach,
no?
what? Right, the shliach did the hiring. And by the shliach, it's pu'ula sachir itcha. They didn't do the work by him. So the Gemara explains that if the shliach says to them, however, that I'm responsible, scharchem alai, I'm taking responsibility for your payment, then he is mechuyev in their in their payment, and then
Then
he
he
and
then he's over.
then he would take it right, and then he would right, and then he would be able to Baltolin. So
Can I
here's
ask you a question? What about in a case where he didn't say Schorchem Alai? Stam,
then no.
he's not over. But
Then
what
no,
about
because
what,
even though he hired them, the
yeah.
obligation of paying them for their work is on the balabas.
So then is a balabos over?
No, because he didn't hire them.
So nobody's over.
Nobody's over. At least mitzad baltalin. Doesn't mean you're not over anything, but mitzad baltalin you're not over. Unless he said schar kamalai, and then now he's going to be over, so he better pay them, and then he has to figure out to collect from the balabais. Oh, bibraisa medubar, and now in the braisa, what's it talking about? It's talking about when he told them scharchem al balabais, that in that braisa that the Gemara brings, right? That's why neither of them are over because he said that listen, I'm just hiring you on behalf of this balabas. He's responsible for your pay, not me. That then neither of them has done baltolin.
Okay.
The Gemara tells about about Yehuda ben Marimar that he said to his mishamish, his assistant, to go and hire workers, and that he should tell them "Scharchem ala balabayis." Make sure to tell them that the schar is on the balabayis, not on you. And Tosfos explained that, listen, we're talking about the Yehuda ben Marimar. For certainly, he wasn't he wasn't planning on pushing them off and to delay their payment. Right? Only he was so afraid that Chas v'Shalom he wouldn't have time and he would miss the deadline. So therefore, he told the shliach to say it like this: that if you know what I mean, if he's running a few minutes late, he shouldn't Chas v'Shalom be over on Baltalin, and that and that he shouldn't even be over on an isur of divrei Kabbalah of Otem L'Riacha. Right? Because even that you're not over.
Obviously, he was trying to take on responsibility. No, that's really what he wanted to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Well, what it was like this: is it's not just he wanted to take responsibility. Because Stama say this, he wanted to make sure that there would be no isur of Baltolin if he got delayed a few minutes. If he was busy and he wouldn't have time to pay them, he was afraid that they would hit the deadline. And then now he's able on Baltolin. So by having his mishamish tell them that the schar is on the balabas, so now the schar is on the balabas, but he did the hiring, so there's no Baltolin. Right? On the other hand, there's also not going to be the midrabanan, because like we said before, the midrabanan doesn't count if it's because you didn't have time yet. It's only if you intended to. So obviously,
but he told him scharchem alai, right?
He told him
scharchem al balabayis.
Yeah,
He told him
that his mishamish should tell the
workers. Why should he?
Meaning
Why should he
at
think
first
that?
glance, it looks like he's trying to get out of Baltolin. No, listen, I have a good trick. I'll have my shliach go do it. I'll have him say this schar is balabayis, and then I don't pay them. There's no Baltolin if I don't pay them on time. So it's saying it's not because he was planning on paying them not on time. So he's looking for a trick. It's just he was afraid of being over. In case what happens if he'll really be very busy. He knew he has a very busy day ahead, and it's going to be a challenge to pay them right away.
So let him not say anything. What?
No, because he was afraid. He was afraid they got what do you mean? That's why not say anything. Then what if the guy doesn't realize and they'll say schar chemalai?
Or you mean the
meaning he didn't want his mishamish to be haver either. It's not he's protecting himself and let my mishamish be
right.
Like this, he's protecting the shliach. He's protecting himself because since he's hiring and he's saying schar chemal balabos, so he can't be over on Batolin, and his shliach can't be over on Batolin.
Yeah.
Right. Wait a second. But how about the Rabbanon? We already established now he's not trying to schlep on them.
Yeah, very good.
He doesn't have the time, so he said that the Rabbanon is only if you intended to, and not if you pushed them off a little bit because you didn't have time. Midivrei Rambam Barosh that when the shliach if the shliach did not say schar malabayis, right? Ella socher isam bistam hu chayav bischaram. So
who's who? The balabos.
This is you just asked. Why did he have to tell him? Why did he have to tell him anything?
Yeah. Who chayav means the balabos is chayav.
No. It's going to be the shliach. It's going to be as if he said schar chamalai. How do we know this? Because, like you asked, why did Yehuda ben Marimar have to tell the shliach dafke make sure you say schar chamal balabais? So it's mashma from this that if he didn't say it, it would be considered schar chamal al shliach, and that's why he had to be he told him to be careful to say that. So the mashmos is that if he didn't say anything, it's like he said schar chemalai and not schar chemal balabais.
That's not the way we learned originally. This.
No. Yes and no. Or it's not. Fine. But look. What do you call it? But then after that, right? Look at the end of that paragraph. He said it.
Yeah, but if he didn't say it,
If he didn't say it, so what we see from the story
yeah,
from Yehud
but
ben
I
Marimar.
understand the story. But I'm saying when we learned the Gemara originally, right? The first paragraph.
So if he didn't say it, it's not from that. It's not clear yet. All
Okay, if he didn't say
yeah.
anything, nobody's chayiv. הגמורה ביאר שאם השליח אומר לפרוס שכר כמלאי, הוא מחויב לסורם. כך קוראים לזה. וממילא ברתולם. ברייסא מדובר כשאומר להם שכרכם על בעל הבייס. Then what? Then he's then
Tzarchem al habayis,
all
then nobody's
shnehem
over.
eno oivin bebal tolim.
Right.
Okay. If he says if the shliach says scharchem alai, so he's responsible. If he says
He's
scharchem al
responsible.
balabayis, nobody's
Nobody's
responsible.
responsible. So
If he
so
didn't
the
say
question
if he did not say
now the
anything,
question of Bistam, he didn't discuss there. So what if you don't say anything?
stam means he didn't say
He
nishlich.
didn't say Scharchem alai, he didn't say right.
Yeah.
So now this we learn from the Maisa with Yehuda ben Marimar.
Right.
Being that we see that he specifically told them that he has to tell. So it's mashma that Bistam it would go the other way. Mashma that because it's just to tell them don't say anything. No, so it's mashma that if he didn't say anything, it's like he said Scharchem olai, and the shliach would be over. So therefore, that's why Yud ben Marimar was told him very clear, make sure to tell them Scharchem ala balabais. And the Tur adds that this is all in the case that the workers don't know they don't know that he's an agent for such and such. If everybody knows that this guy is a shliach of Yehuda ben Marimar, then their understanding is the schar is on Yehuda ben Marimar. So in that case, again, now this doesn't affect if he's I don't think if he said to them beferish. But in that case, the stam would go the other way.
Yeah. Who yeah, of course, because he had to. In other words, if the shliach says stam or he says scharchem al olai, then he's chayiv.
Right.
If he said
right.
scharchem al balabayis,
right.
so then the balabayis is chayiv.
Now, besides for, by the case of Amar Bistam,
it's the same as if he says scharchem alai. It's the same thing.
Besides for, unless everybody knows that he's his. So in this case, it's the mashmos is that these workers they did not know that he's hiring on behalf of Yehud ben Marimar, because stam could go two ways. If they don't know that, if everybody knows that this is the mishamish of Yehud ben Marimar, then they're assuming that the schar is on Yehud ben Marimar, and then the stam would be like saying would be saying balabos, and he wouldn't have to say anything. In this case, he said, "Go hire workers." These workers, they don't know that this guy is the mishamish of Yehud ben Marimar.
And then
but
what?
Therefore, he had to say.
So, what's the difference if the shliach says, "I'm a shliach of a choshev yid" or not? What's the difference?
No, it's not about the choshev yid. It's about if it's meaning. If everybody knows that he's hiring on behalf of the other guy, then the assumption is that when you're hiring me, you're not hiring for you.
Yeah,
it's mashma that the schar is on the balabas. So therefore, if I didn't say anything,
otherwise you think that the shliach himself is hiring for himself.
Well, if you don't know,
right?
Then so if you don't know, if people don't know, then bistam it would end up being like he said schar chamalai. However, if everybody knew that he's the agent of such and such a guy, and he's the guy who does the hiring for such and such a guy, then Bistam would go the other way.
That it's the highest. It's
on the balabos is the assumption.
Yeah. So
it's as if he said Schar Chamal balabais.
Okay, so let me ask you now.
So what happened in this case? In this case, clearly by the fact that he told them he has to say it, it's mashma that the workers did not know that he's the agent of Yehud ben Marimar.
Right.
So therefore, he had to say it. Otherwise, the Bistam would have gone on his own head.
Because he didn't want that he should be on the shoulders of the shliach.
Right. He also one that should be on the Shliach shoulders. And being that they don't know that he's hiring for Yehuda ben Marimar, the Stam would have been like he said, Schar Chamalai. So therefore, he told him to say Schar Chamal Balabayis. So there would be no questions, and
Very
therefore
important. This.
there wouldn't be it wouldn't by accident to step into Batali if he became too busy.
Yeah. This purple that we just said right now, is it in the Shulchan Aruch, or it's
It looks like it's in who brings it?
it's not in a Esmeh or anything like that.
No, it's fun. It's funny because he says me Divri Rambam Varosh. What Rambam and Rosh is he talking about? Up until now, he only told us about a Gemara and another Gemara.
Yeah. Schatzen Balabayis, Elo Socher.
So why me Divri for what's the me Divri
I just want
Rambam
to know, because if I
Varosh?
wanted to look it up, you know what to
What
look it up.
Rambam and Rosh is he talking about? I don't know. I don't know.
Could be
It brings
could be the
Stam.
tool brings it
Me
down.
Divri Rambam Varosh. He doesn't tell me what Rambam Varosh or how the Rambam and Rosh got involved. It should say me Divri HaGemara Mashma.
Yeah.
And then he should tell us who said that, but he doesn't.
Shulchan Aruch Chaim Shluchoi Tzei V'Schol Lipoelim.
Yeah, so fine. This is now we're holding what by the Sif Zion in the Shulchan Aruch.
Yeah.
Someone says to Shliach go and get Pelim and V'Sachram V'Amar Lahem Scharchem Al Balabayis Ein Shum Echd Mehem Ever Al Baltalin. Fine. Umihu Balabayis Ever Mishum Al Teimed L'Riyach Aleich V'Shuv. Im ein tardum umakaven l'tchesam, right? Because like we just said, the Rabbanon is only when you weren't taka busy. So if he
I
says
understand. Didn't we just say a moment ago, Midivra Rambam and the Rosh, that you're Chayiv Baltolin if you said Scharchem al Balabos?
no, neither of them is why, because we just said the shliach did the hiring. If he says Scharchem olai, then he's got the problem.
למה שתצא וסחור לי פועלים? סחורם ואומר להם, סחורכם על בעל הבוס, אין שום אחד מהם...
No problem. No
ומיהו,
problem,
אם
because he
בעל
did the
הבוס
hiring.
עובר...
Because I'm doing the hiring
ומיהו,
and he's
בעל הבוס
you're
עובר
working by
משום
him.
על תומר לרחו, ושהוא, oh, he's over on that, but not on בעל תולן.
Right. But
ולא אומר
neither is
סחרתם על
over
בעל
on Baltalin.
הבייס, אפילו לא יאמר להם
But
סחורכם עליי.
remember, the balabayis is only if he wasn't taketarud. Right? Amiu balabayis ever al tevel erecha v'shuv right im
But listen to this. But so the balabais is never gonna end up being chayv on baltolin, even if it's chayv on the other thing.
Right. In such a case where he sends a shliach, he will never be. The only possibility is the shliach could end up being ever
on baltolin.
Yeah. Right. Then we say im like amalem schorchem alai ela schoram stam. Who chayev bischarim? Right? Why? Because like we said before, because it's as if he's right in the case that they don't know who the balabais is. They don't. It's not known to everybody that he's the agent. Then it falls on him. It's as if he said schorchem alai. Lefichach hu evim mishum batalin. Rama. Now the Rama adds this other point. They know he's just an agent of the balabas. Then and then it goes back to nobody's over on Baltalin. But if he schleps them when he's not really busy, the balabas will be chayiv on the drabanan.
Okay.
Fine. So now what is it when the balabas will have money only on the market day, or that it's usual to pay after making a cheshbon? Or for example, like nowadays, right? This payroll day, and it's a normal thing that people get paid on a payroll day, or depending when it comes to even with contractors, there's certain we cut checks every Thursday, right? Whatever it is. So by Gemara, I know with the Pirush Rashi is going to be in the parentheses here. Amar Rabba Bar Barhuna, Hani Shukai Desura, right? These balabatim in Syria, right? That only on the day of the market they get money, right? Because that's when they go do their business, and that's when people buy their stuff, and that's when they have money. Like avri mishum baltalin, right? If they push off the schar of the palim until market day, they're not avid. Even if they happen to have money right now. Why? Right? Because everybody knows. Everybody knows that payment day is on market day. And so b'meila, so it's not about that he has the money and he's not paying them. It doesn't make a difference. Why? Because their initial expectation is not to get paid till market day. So when we said bismane, right, he can't schlep from zmane. Zmane isn't until market day. That's not b'yomei, right? It says that it's paying b'yomei.
So market day is beyond.
B'yomei is not today. Everybody knows that b'yomei is market day. So therefore, the Baltolin clock, so to speak, the Baltolin clock will not begin to tick until market day. Avol mishum bal tisha hevada iver.
He's not over, even if he has the money to pay him, because it's self-understood
Right.
that beyond
Now,
is the day of the marketplace.
why isn't he over on Baltolin? Because the Baltolin can only be on the first night or the first morning. So once you've passed that, you get a free pass on Baltolin. So since it got pushed off the market day, it gets pushed off Bichlal. That's how Baltolin works. Baltolin is only on the first day.
So
Or
if
the first
he
night.
doesn't pay him after the marketplace,
Then he's not over on Baltolin. Because once it's pushed ad Bichlal. However, he is over on Bal Tishah. On the Rabbanon, he's over. Meaning, if he doesn't pay him market day,
this is the halacha. This
yeah,
yes, this is Tur Shulchan Aruch. It says
I think
Sochir.
so. It's a Gemara.
Yeah, it's a 37. Sif Tes.
Yeah. So fine. So Baltolin can only be the first day or the first Shkia. That's the only time Baltolin.
And you're clearly not over here.
Right, and now market day was 3 days later, or 2 days later, whatever it is. You passed that already. Once you pass that, the Baltolin clock never resets.
Wow.
You cleared Baltolin, but it's still Bal Tishahim. Benemuki Yosef Kosov Shanitan Lilmed, you can learn from the Gemara that in a place that it's normal to pay a worker only after the cheshbon is made, right? Like this is a regular thing in companies. We have a certain days where we figure out the payroll. We go over the people's time clocks and etc. Check race if they have depending if there's commissions on sales or whatever. Right? There's a time that they do cheshbon, and then on a certain days they do the cheshbon, right? Whether it's monthly or biweekly or weekly, depending on the business. So then there's no Baltolin until
Because it's al dazu, he says.
Yeah. And not only that, and even once the cheshbon is made, that's it. You pass Baltolin, like we said. Once you pass Baltolin, it doesn't come back.
Right.
And this is even if the worker is claiming for a small amount that they for sure owe him, right? So meaning you don't have to make a cheshbon. Like let's say he tells them, so you know what, give me $100. Listen, I for sure I worked this many hours. You owe me probably about 500-600. So we can all agree you owe me at least 100. So just pay me the 100 now. No, doesn't make a difference. They don't have to pay him the 100. And they don't have to make a special cheshbon for this. Why? Because al das zeis nisker lemelacha. This was the understanding with which you agreed to do this job. Is that they pay on cheshbon day. Tur v'shulchan aruch. So where did you say that was? That's in Seif.
Tiftes. Shilam tes tiftes.
Sachir shemaskir beval abayis she'ein dark elis biyodi mois ela b'mashuk einay avid beval tolin afilu yesh le mois umiyei mashuk ve'elach im ein nice like avid mishum al temer l'riyacha. So he's avid Baal Tishaheh under the Rabbanon. From that point on, if he doesn't pay him, unless he was actually busy. Ramav hu adin hani she'in darkom l'shalim. Right, so he brings the Nemuki Yosef here. Ache yachshavu apelim einam evrim ache yachshavu imohim. So if payday is
Again, Ivrim over here doesn't mean to say Baltolin. Over here it means
well, because he's not going to be able to be right. He's not going to be able to be Eved Baltolin. It's past.
You're telling me now that there's a time period after
it can only be the first
night or the day.
Or the first,
Yeah, what it is, could be a few days.
He's not Eved on because we didn't do the cheshbon yet, and al dazeh you.
I think that's the way to learn this. No,
yeah,
I think
100%, 100%. It would be the same thing. Once you pass the first either Shkia or Amud HaShachar, depending on night worker, day worker. Once you've passed that, and you are not Eiver and Batolin, you're done. You can't be Eiver and Batolin again after that anymore. And even if you were Eiver on it, you're only Eiver on that one. You're not Eiver on the next day. You're still Eiver on Batishah again the next time. Bismanenu Hamina Gatashlim is what? When you pay workers is in the beginning of now this is the Piskei HaMishpat. Obviously now it's even different than that. There's it depends on the company. If it's a biweekly, if it's a monthly, if it's a weekly, each company has their own,
let me ask you a question, a general question about Tolin. I think we should know this, every day that you work, you should be paid every day. So I'm just saying,
that's generally speaking, but where the minhag makom is different, or the remember we learned like this. The first thing is what's a haskama. What were we masking? Generally speaking, when you go to work for a company, you're being masking to accept the biweekly or weekly or however they pay. They're not making a special
right. But according to we're saying right now, it seems that once you make a haskama after the time period of a night or day, you are over the Rabbanan dika, but you're not over the Oraisa.
Yeah, correct. So, for example, like Rabbi Brunswick brought yesterday, where the schools that slap on the teachers. Teachers, I think most schools pay monthly.
Yeah.
Okay, so fine. The second that month passed and the teacher wasn't paid, they're on Baal Tishaheh.
Baal Tishaheh, but not Baal
Well,
Tolin.
no, they're not. They're not. Actually, they're not. It depends. If the Taka didn't have the money, it's very wrong of them, but they're actually not even on Baal Tishaheh technically.
But
because Baal Tishaheh is means you have the money to pay them actually.
But exactly. That's what we said. That's a Tanai of the Rabbanan. But Baltolin, sicher nicht.
For sure not. Why? Milchatchila, you got rid of Baltolin by the fact that you have a monthly payroll.
The only thing that you have that is shaykh Baltolin is in a case where you pay daily.
Well, in theory, it could still be.
How?
Because what if I'm supposed to pay you at the end of the month for that same month? On the last day of the month, you're gonna have Baltolin. Regarding the last day of the month, you'll have Baltolin. If the arrangement falls that way, usually it doesn't. Usually the way it works is there's a couple. Is the school has like at least a week or something built in to do the cheshbon, but not always, because sometimes if it's salary.
So you tell me the Baltolin would be shaykh in the payroll for the last
Let's
day.
say, for example, I'm paying you last day of the month for the month. So let's say what's it called? Every April 30th, I pay you for April. Now, if I pay you May 1st for April, it's not a problem because it already passed the Shkia and the Amud. Which
Okay.
so in most cases you're not gonna have a problem because in most cases they don't pay you on the last of the month for the month. They pay you on the first of the next month for the last month. But if they pay on the last day of the month, they could mamish fall into an Isur D'Oraisa. So this is why important. If anybody runs a school and you're planning on schlepping on your teachers, which is Kimina Gamakim, right? Wait a second. I wonder if Bichlal it's not a problem because Mina Gamakim is to schlep on teachers.
Yeah, but hold on a sec. Hold on a second.
It's
So
already al
the
Dazze. He took the job as a teacher.
but you know, and I know this is not lechatchila
I know.
arrangement.
This is in jest,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
no, but really, if someone's running a whatever, whether it's a school or any business, you should talk and be very careful to make sure that you're not paying the monthly salary for that month on the last of the month, but rather on the first of the next month. Because if you're paying, if you agree that you're paying on the last day of that month, then on that last day you could have Baltonin on that last day. So you should always make sure that
Because of that evening, right? And the next morning
yeah,
will
you
kick
can
in.
yeah, boom, Baltonin. Maybe not for the whole month, but certainly for the last day of the month,
Exactly,
because you owe
exactly.
him the last day on the last day. So it's very important. Anytime you make a haskama to pay somebody monthly on what's it called, to make sure to do it on the that the payment date is the next day, the first day of the next month, not the last day
But at
of
one
that month.
point, you were over Baltolin, no? Even though now not, but
If 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 you made it the next day,
yeah,
no, because once it passes and you're not over, it's pushed off the.
that's what happens. It goes away. You
Goes
were
away.
over
Done.
that
It's done.
day, and then disappears.
You can only be over on it that night or that morning that the Aveda finishes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I hear.
So it's interesting because it'll make a big difference if you're paying on the last of the month or on the first of the next month. Can make the difference between if you're entering into a problem of Midilaisa or not.
If you pay on the 30th, you're fine, and then that evening you're not fine, and that morning you're not fine.
Right. So if you pay on the 30th,
You're
so
fine.
that so depending on if it's a day worker, you by shkia on shkia you're over if you can pay him.
And if it's a
If it's a
night
night
worker,
if it's a night worker by Amud you're over.
I'm with the shachar,
Yeah.
loisa shachar, yeah, something like that. Like for example,
Alay, sorry.
if you're giving a shir at night, for example, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you give a shir at night, not just you give a morning shir and you give a night shir. So then if the night shir you'll be over for by the next morning if you
Yeah.
don't pay that evening.
Alternatively, for example, in our school here, the way it works is they pay monthly.
Yeah,
So, very often they pay on the last of the month. But when you submit hours, you have to submit hours by the 25th. And so you're submitting it from the 25th to the 25th. So even though you get paid monthly by the calendar month,
yeah,
the working month is technically from the 25th to the 25th. So it's like 5-6 days later, and then there's no issue about Tolan again.
right.
Now the issue about Tisha, that could be, but generally speaking, maybe I don't know if all schools, but in most school in a lot of schools, if they're not paying you, listen, even though it's not right, they should have to figure out, right. It's because they don't have the money though. It's not because they have the money and they're slapping you. So the truth is, even about Tisha, you wouldn't have that. It's still not. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a nice thing,
Yeah,
but there wouldn't be any actual Aveda here.
yeah.
I mean, maybe there would be other things, but even the dying for sure the mechusri amon. If the worker is
If you know Meroish, yeah.
yeah
If you know Melechatchila that you don't have and you're hiring people, it's like the whole thing is
fine, but where do you draw the line on that? In other words,
so,
how many schools have money for the next year or whatever? Very often,
yeah.
especially when schools are starting out or whatever, they're operating on a very on you know what I'm saying, that they're figuring the tuition, what's it called, and okay, all of a sudden something whatever, I don't know
But
why
you know
can't.
something, I'm just saying that the schools who are charging much more today than they did in my day, even in proportion,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, fine.
And they're much stricter now than they ever were. They should be
On
running into
collecting
it.
tuition, you're saying.
Sure, today it's much stricter. Morristown was a
Okay,
joke.
but then
Morristown
but
was a
then again,
joke
but then
at
again,
one time.
those
Today it's not
school
a
those
joke.
and you're telling me those schools are schlepping on teachers, schools that are
I don't think they should. I don't know. I'm not in the know. I say it shouldn't be. I said, you know.
right. Not just
I,
that, you could also have listen. So what do you do? The air conditioner breaks.
you mean the money that they collect in tuition is only to pay the rabbis?
No, I'm saying well, now the air conditioner breaks and whatever they weren't expecting it, and then a big building air conditioning cut. Well, so what are you gonna do? Leave the kids in 120 degrees. So meaning I'm not saying it's right. Really, the first thing that they should be doing is putting aside the employment money. Now, air conditioner broke. I don't know. Figure it out. Go collect the money. Go borrow money. Go. I don't know what. But don't
Yeah,
touch the teacher money. That's really the. At the same time, I understand the challenge. It's like,
it is
you
a
know what I'm
challenge. It's
saying.
not easy.
Again, what are you gonna do? You're gonna leave kids in 120-degree heat.
I'm not. I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, and it's you can't send your
No,
kids to school.
I think honestly a bigger I think a bigger part of it is sometimes is not what was done but how it was done. Because look here, like we said, you could look. You don't have the money, and so you could easily avoid about telling about the shah. Fine, I wasn't even or anything, but there's also a matter of menschlichkeit, bichlal. For example, if you if the money's very tight, what's it called, right? How about put it right? And what happens on the same day of payroll? They tell people, but people have automated mortgage payments and things and whatever. How about tell them 2 weeks before? Listen, we're just giving you a heads up that right. So now at least you're giving people a chance to maybe ask a relative for money to hold them over for the what's it called. A big part of it is sometimes where there isn't the appropriate transparency. Like be don't add insult to injury. you know?
Yeah, yeah. How it's handled? How it's handled? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so
So within Hanishin Dark Mishal Chelsea Poilim and okay, with Manino
yeah, so
minutes
even the dying like tava is tava v'lo yoyel amay with mois oishim choitz chenveni. Fine.
Oi
At
bit
Mishnah,
dying lois of
right? So the Mishnah
Tova Veloy Hoyel Mebid
yeah,
Mois. What does that mean? Veloy
that
Hoyel
that
Mebid Mois.
either he didn't make the claim, or he did come to claim his money, but the balabas doesn't have money to pay him,
Yeah.
right? Or he sent him to go to a shop owner to take produce in exchange
Oh
for it, right?
shit.
So the Mishnah echad sachar adam ve'echad schar behema ve'echad schar kelim. So the payment for whether for a person, right? Like we established before, whether for renting an animal or whether for renting tools,
Yeah.
things.
Yes,
Yesh beim
Mishum.
mishum b'yemei titin schari. So Baltolin applies to all of them. Ve'yesh beim mishum le'salm pulasachir itchad baker, and it applies to all of them. A masai when mizman shetovi, when he came to collect his money.
Like Tova
Loi tavi ain't
Enoivel.
David Olav. I don't care if the day I don't have to come running after you that I shouldn't be because I'm gonna be Aver Baltolin. Where'd the worker go? Now I gotta run around all over town trying to find you where I'm Aver. No.
Yeah.
Baltolin me is only if the worker came to me. He came to me to collect. You didn't come to me to collect. I was not Aver. I'm Baltolin. And of course, as we know, then I'm not Aver anymore after that. Anyway, meaning that the worker the worker needs produce, right? And the balabas tells the owner of the store, give him. Listen, I owe him $200 for work. Give him a $200 credit for shopping, right?
Yeah.
And then put it on my tab at Empire Kosher, right?
Right.
and then I'll pay you. Right, I'll have the money. I'll pay you.
Is this a partial payment or a full payment? Is the $200 all that he owes him, or is this like
Yeah. It's let's say everything that he owes him.
Okay.
Or at the very least, that's all he's. Alternatively, you could say that's what he's being teveya. Right?
Okay,
You
so
could say
he's
you
taking
could say
care
he's
of
being meichel, like
he's taking
because you
care of
could
the
have where
whole
he's
of
being
the whole
meichel on
amount.
the rest. Let's say he's being meichel on the rest. He goes, listen, you don't have the money.
Yeah.
Fine, listen, but right now I need to do $200 of shopping. At least give me $200, and then the rest. Fine, you want to pay me next week on the rest? I'm okay with it. I'll be meichel until next week on the rest. But the chalafach is I need food for Shabbos. I need $200 to go buy groceries. So he says, you know what? I'll tell you what. Hang on a second. Here, I'm calling Empire Kosher. I'm telling them that you're on the way over, and they should put the $200 on my tab. Fine. So I mean, it could be either way, or alternatively, yeah. Alternatively, we could say the 200 is what he owes him.
Yeah. If not, I don't think it's much of a deal, no? Or it's a soort
Depends. No, depends what the guy needs. Again,
Ain't
the
no
guy
overall.
maybe the guy Taki, he's like, listen, I don't care if you pay me the rest next week, but I need 200 now. So then that if that's all he's being teveya, that's the only thing the balabas could possibly be over on. Remember, he could only be over on what he's teveya, on what he's demanding from you. So it could be he tells him, listen, pay me next week on the other 300, but 200 I need now to shop for Shabbos, right?
Yeah.
So fine. Oh, it's a shulchani, right, or by a money changer, whatever. Some right that he tells him to give him coins in a certain amount, and then he'll pay him later. Then it's fine. He's not over on it. Why? Because at the end of the day, he gave him what he needs. Leisalin pula sachir yachal afilu leitavu. Talmud leimar itcha leisalin itcha ad beker ledaitcha v'leimi daitei. Meaning that only if you do it based on right against his will are you over on a lav. Yachel afilu einlei.
What does that mean against his will?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, meaning that he's being tevea you, that he's that he's coming to ask it from you, and you're telling him no. Okay, now we're gonna get a slight easement on the Dereisa. Yachel afilu einloi Talmud leimar itcha sheyesh itcha. So even Baltolin is going to be what? If you don't have the money, you weren't even on Baltolin. It has to be that it was Salin Itcha, the money was sitting with you. Yachel afilu imchu etzel chenveni ve'etzel shulchani Talmud leimar itcha v'lo yishimchu etzel chenveni ve'etzel shulchani. Which I have a little bit of a question on.
What is it saying over here?
So he's saying we learned from Itcha that you have to have the money, and we learned from Itcha that even if you had the money and you didn't pay him, but you set him up by the grocery guy to pay him, right? Let's say, for example, let's say I have $200.
Yeah.
Right? I can pay you. I have the money to pay you.
No. Yeah.
But here's the problem: is the electric bill is due right now for $200.
Who's the electric bill?
The owner.
So
And I tell you, listen, I'll tell you what, I have $200. But the electric's going to go off, and we're all going to be in trouble. I'll tell you what. Go. You said you need $200 because you need to do shopping. Where do you shop? Empire Kosher. Good. I have a tab there. Go. Even though he had the money, he's fine. Why? Because he set him up by the he took care of
Yeah,
him.
it was in lieu of. It's
Yeah,
in lieu.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I set you up anyways with what you need. Not, you know, and not only that, you're better off because you have a you have a lower tax obligation now, right? Because it came out of money from the owner's taxes, not from the what's it called? So you got an extra tax benefits from it. My question with this is, it says itcha, that you have it, right? Itcha v'lo shimchu. I thought you're only allowed to learn one thing out of one word. Isn't there a cloud? You can only learn one thing from one word.
Yeah.
You can't learn multiple limudim out of the same word.
Unless it could have been with a variation, then you say Shema Minotarte, you know? You know what I'm saying or not? If
Yeah,
there's two implications in one, because it could have been written this way, but now it says like this, so that's Shema Minotarte.
right.
But
I don't see that here though. But okay, maybe
no,
maybe
no,
that's
no,
fine.
no. You have only one. It's
Here
only
it looks
one.
like there's just one. The same limud is taken from the same thing.
Yeah.
Unless maybe it's like shtei limudim ke'echad or something like that. That they're really the same. You know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it though.
No.
Oh, move about Gemara. Shenechleku Rabbi Sheshes v'Rabbi Legabi himcho eitzel chavni eitzel shulchani. Right? That is that fine? Meaning, if I'm offering you this, then you have to accept it, or is it just one option? If he accepts it, right? So either the payil can go back and be teveya from the balabas, which is the Rabba holds, or that's it. You have no more teveya from him on this money. Meaning, when he's telling you go to Empire Kosher and get your groceries, can you refuse or not? Can you say nope? I don't want to do that. I want the money.
I want cash.
Yeah, I want the money. Or can you not? So according to Reb Sheshes, nope. You can't. That's it. The balabas can do this. According to Rabbi, no, he has to agree. Which Rabbi's way seems a little bit funny if you're asking me, because if we're masking on something, then in other words, if you were masking, don't pay me at all. Never mind. I was Michael the whole thing. Don't pay me at all. I don't have to pay you at all. So what's the if he has to be masking to it? What's the
What do you mean by that?
meaning? Listen, I have to be teveya you in order for this whole thing. If I come to you and I tell you, listen, I'm Michael the whole amount. You don't have to pay me nothing. Are you over anything?
No.
No. So what's this whole thing? According to Rabbe, that it's that the whole thing about by the chenveni is only if the worker agrees to it. The worker can agree to anything he wants, and you're fine. So then, what's the chiddush of he can send him to the storekeeper? So like to me, Rav Shesh's thing makes a lot more. It makes a lot
So
more
in
sense.
other words, what are you trying to say? That if the guy doesn't agree to go to Empire Kosher, then what?
Then according to Rabbe, he can come back and say, no, give me the money. According to Rav Sheshes, he can't. So according to Rabbi, I don't understand it because listen, if so he's saying, but only if he's masking. If he's masking, so then what do you need this whole thing for? Masking is he can do any. He can be Michael the whole thing like Amri
Ah,
also.
so you're saying Elamai dafen sagen that it's talking about afilu loy maskim.
Well, that's what it would seem. So I don't understand
Yeah.
how Rabbi holds that. Why Rabbi holds that? Or Rabbi Sheshes, I understand. Anyways, but that's what Rabbi holds.
Rav Shesha says that if he's not maskim, he can stop it.
Sheisha says that if he's not masking, too bad. I'm giving you a way to what do you call it?
Okay.
Fine. Anyway, the Rosh explains that if the Chenveni or the Shulchani doesn't want to give, right? He changes his mind. Then in that case, everybody agrees that the worker can come back to the balabas and demand his money. Right? Because we're talking about a case, the
Yeah.
Chenveni and Shulchani doesn't owe the balabas anything. He's just doing him a favor. He's doing him a favor. I'll give your worker the stuff and then you pay me later. Fine. So he doesn't owe the balabas anything. He can change his mind. So now he changes his mind. So then it's obvious the worker can go back and be teveya the balabas for the money again. So then if he changes his mind, right, it goes back. It's the whole that whole deal is bottle. So it goes back. They can be teveya. So according to the Rosh, the machlekes between the Rabba and the Rav Sheshes is when the Chanvani or Shulchani is holding his word. Just what? The worker, for whatever reason, he wants to receive it money, even though Taki he needs to do shopping. But for whatever reason, the worker wants the money from the balabas and not from the Chanvani or Shulchani. So according to Rav Sheshes, too bad you can't be teveya him. Why? He's giving you a way to take care of your business.
Okay, but
Right?
paying your grocery bills is not going to pay you your electric bill, and maybe he has a good reason why he doesn't want.
No, fine. We're assuming here that it takes care of something. This is what. Remember, first of all,
Yeah,
back then there was no electric bill. There was a food bill.
yeah. So you're saying he's taking care of something else,
Yeah.
not.
I'm taking care of 200. You need $200. Fine. Tell me what's $200 of your expenses, and let me work it out with those people that they'll give you the scheda you need now. They'll give you this guy. I'll what's it called? I have a company cheshbon with the firewood guy, and I have a company cheshbon with the chanvini and whatever,
Yeah.
and I will put it on the company cheshbon until what's it called, and then I'll pay them.
Well,
No, we're gonna take care of you of your things.
fine.
So according to Rav Sheshes, he can't. That's it. He can't be tiveh him.
JJ, you have to be masking to this
Yeah.
thing. It's funny that you told me
And
the
this is
story.
really funny because
The
here
story
now he's wording it that like even by Rav Sheshes he has to be masking.
it's funny you're saying this that he has to be that Rav Sheshes says that he has to be masking, right? That's what you're saying.
Right now it's saying well according to Rabbi it's clear he has to be masking. But now the way that Rosh is the way they're presenting it here, anyways. I don't know if this is what
Yeah.
the Rosh is. Let me see who's he quoting over here. 40.
So then, what's the machlokes the Rosh and the machlokes of Rav
No, I'm
Sheshes and
saying see,
Rabbah?
no. So the machlekes is according to what is explained here. I don't know if
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know if I'm seeing the same thing as what they as whoever wrote this.
Yeah.
But they're saying that once you made the haskama, right? The balabas said, "Listen, what do you need this for? Shopping? Fine. I'll tell you what. Here, right? Take $200. Go to Empire Kosher. I just called them. I told them you can put on my bill for $200.
Good.
Now, according to the Rosh, once they make and you were masking, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question now is, can you change can the worker change his mind and say, I know I was masking with you that we would do this, but I changed my mind. I need the money. So according to Rabba, he can change his mind. And according to Reb Sheshes, he can't change his mind once he was masking. Unless obviously the Chenvani or Shulchani changes his mind, in which case the whole agreement is bottled anyway. But let's assume that the Chenvani is willing to uphold his commitment to do that. So according to Rav Sheshes, once it right, it seems once he made, and it's funny because I don't understand the whole other way around. Well, no, no, I don't understand the whole thing then, because if he was maskim, so what's the himchu etzel chenvin shulchani? That means I worked out with you something that worked. So who cares then? Anyway, according to
where you reading now?
by the big fourth paragraph in the Divrei Harosh.
Yeah, לדברי הראש, המחלוקת הוא במקרה שהחן והשולחני אינו חוזר בוי מהסיכום. ומוכן לא פועל לבד של יבסקם, אלא
Right.
שהפועל, in other words, originally it could have worked according to the Rabbah and according to Rav Sheshes, right?
Meaning it works, yeah, in the first place.
I- I-
Unless
in other words,
the Chenveni,
he's saying
and according to both of them, if the Chenveni changes his mind, it's canceled. It goes back to you owe him the money.
if the
The
Chenveni
question,
changes his mind.
well, the Chenveni, right? But now the question is, what if the Payil changes his mind?
Yeah.
Right? So meaning, according to this, the Balabas offered him and he accepted that. Now can he go back and say, you know what? I changed my mind. I want the money.
I'm getting confused. הראש ביר שאם החנווני או שולחני אינו רוצה לעשות את הפועל את מה שסוכם, שאם החנווני והשולחן אינו רוצה את מה שסוכם, הכל מועדים שהפועל יוכל לחזור בהרבה ולדבור ממנו שכרי. Right. שכמדו במקרה שהחנווני או השולחני אינו חייב כלום לבעל הבית, אלא הסכים מרצונו הטוב, right?
Right.
במקרה כזה חנווני שולחני is משמע that if he owes him something, they can't change their mind.
Then right, because you're it's a chayv, you're paying a chayv.
It reminds me to the case in Kedushin, Hamekadish v'mona shlish. You owe me money. Instead of giving me the money, be Mekadosh Maisha. This is the
Right.
same
So
thing.
let's
You owe me money, so instead of
say
giving
for
me,
example,
pay my melamed.
let's say for example, the Balabas also owns the building where the store is,
Yeah.
right? And Irveis, whatever.
Don't pay me the rent.
For whatever
Don't pay
reason,
me the,
right. They owe him rent now. He says, listen, just take off $200 from the rent.
and pay my
And then,
melamed.
fine. So then it's bullshit. It's in this
Okay.
case we're talking about he has no cash. It's
No, okay.
I have a tab there, and they're doing me a favor. It's totally they're doing me a favor.
Yeah, I don't want to get mixed into this. I don't want to pay. I don't want to give you melamed what you owe him.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah, no, right. It's what's it called? It sounds complicated, says the
Not
Chenveni.
too complicated. Yeah, I don't, so what does he do? So then the poel or the melamed can come back to you and say, give me, right? Give me what you owe me.
According to
That's
everybody.
according to everybody.
Yeah.
לדברי הראש, המחלוקת היא במקרה שהחן בני, I'm sorry, like this is,
I know.
לדברי הראש, המחלוקת היא
Listen,
במקרה שהחן בני או
to read
שולחני,
words doesn't make a difference. We got to understand what we're saying too.
yeah, המחלוקת היא שבמקרה שהחן בני או השולחני, אינו חוזר בה מהסיק,
Right. He's gonna go through on it.
Right. ומוכן לפועל את מה שסוכם. All this is, remember, when the poel and the balabos, they were in agreement to this. It's not them who change their mind. It's the Chenveni who changes his mind. אלא שהפועל מסיבה כלשהו רואה את הכסף כמה מבעל הבית. But what about in a case where it's not the Chenveni and it's not the what do you call it, the other fellow who's
the worker. The worker's coming back and saying, "I changed my mind."
I don't want to deal with the grocery store. Okay. Shulchani is really a money changer, right?
It's like the guys who change currency
Okay, fine.
Whatever.
So
back then it would have been probably they would have gold coins and silver coins and a vesvas.
Yeah, but remember
Remember,
bear in mind that they can't change their mind if they owe the balabos money. We're talking about when they don't owe any money. It's just a plain favor. They will remember that. We have to remember this all the time.
Right, he doesn't owe. The Chenveni owes him nothing.
He owes him nothing. So if
he changes his mind, he's allowed to.
Right, but now it's not him.
And if he changes his mind, and if he does change his mind, again, everybody agrees he can go back to the balabas, the worker.
Right, but then we're talking about that now. We're talking about over here.
Now you owe me the money again. Watch it.
Right, but now we're talking about a case where the worker himself changes his mind. It's a different story.
Right.
And
now
then
you have the machlekes Rabbah and Rav Sheshes.
Right. Then אבל הפועל בסיבה כלשהו רויצה כועצה כבל בעל הבית שלו מכן בני השולחני. לדעת רב ששת הפועל אינו יכול לתבוע במצב כזה את בעל הבית כיוון שמה שסיכמו שקיבל שחורי מהחנווני או ישולחוני נחשב כמחילה שמוכר לבעל הבית על האפשר לגבוס ממנו a partial
Right,
מחילה.
you were Michael.
Yeah.
I gave you. I told you go to the Chanvini and get the stuff. He's still willing to give it to you. And when you agreed to me that this will work, you were Michael the money. That's it. You can't now come back and be teveh me the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So
man
נחשב
Chanvini
כמחילה.
shulchan yem b'sikum obviously. Avol
Okay,
das
anyway, because it seems much as כמחילה, נחשב כמחילה, right?
yeah,
שמוכר לבעל הבית כל
yeah,
האפשרויות לגז נגד ממנו. כל זמן שוכן אכן ושולחן יום בסיק, of course, yeah,
right.
reminder, of course.
Moving. Yeah.
Come on,
Right.
yeah. Because if they change their mind, then according to
Then
everybody,
right, then the whole deal's off.
it's off, right?
And then it reverts.
But I also was inclined to include this bracket because we have to hold bare cop in this.
Right,
Mit
right,
halten Kopf.
right. Let's remember the situation here.
Yeah, yeah. אבל לדעת רבא, אפילו במקרה כזה שהפועל יוכל להחזיר מבעל הבית, כיוון שסיכום זה אינו נחשב כמכיל הכלל, הראש הוסיף שאם עושה קניין על הסיכום הנ"ל, בוודאי שהפועל אינו יכול להחזיר בו, even according to רבא, שהרי כבר פוטר עושה לגמרי חובס התשלום. אלא מדובר שלא עושה קניין על ככה.
Right. If you made, listen, I'm sorry, if you made a
Okay,
kinyan,
so the
you made a
machloikes
kinyan,
between
it's a done deal.
this is important. The machloikes between Rav Sheshes and Rabbah is only talking about when there was no kinyan involved in the actual thing,
Right.
in the actual
It was dvarim ba'alma.
that in other words they spoke amongst themselves that instead of the balabos and the poil spoke amongst themselves if were they that they would agree to, it would agree the poil would agree to go to the chenveni the chanus or to the chenveni
Right.
so the chenveni or to the shulchani, right? And it was a heskem balpeh.
Right. So right, we're talking about when it's
Then
dvarim, and that's the only place where there's an argument. The place where there's an argument is if it's dvarim ba'alma, is it teifus or not teifus?
Rav Shesha says it's not. It's a mechila, and
Mechila,
Rabba says
it's a mechila. Sorry, it's teifus. It's a done deal.
yeah.
And Rabba says no, it's dvarim
No,
ba'alma.
it's Dvarim Be'alma. So he can go back and demand his money from the balabos. Comes now the Roshan says you should know that if there's a kinyan involved over here, right, where the balabos and the poil they made a kinyan that he would he would take the money from the chenveni or from the shulchani. According to everybody, he has to stick to his guns.
Right.
Nobody argues. Everybody agrees that he has to stick to his word because there was a kinyan involved.
Which, if you look in note 43, it's a beautiful thing. It's a big klal over here. Mechila, according to everybody, by mechila you don't need a kinyan. Right? The only reason Rabbah holds this way here, even according to him, by mechila you don't need a kinyan. The only reason Rabbah holds this way here is because he doesn't hold its mechila. That's why you can go back. Because Rabbah holds this is not considered mechila. But even according to Rabbah, if you were to consider it mechila, you would not need a kinyan, and he would not. So mechila, you cannot go back on mechila. There's a big klal here. You cannot go back on mechila even if there's no kinyan.
The question is, why does Rabbah hold that it's not a real?
Look at this. The question is, in this case, is there mechila or not? That's what they argue on. So that's the whole gist of the argument.
I understand.
Is that Rav Sheshes holds that there is a mechila.
Yes.
That when you're masking this, it's a mechila, and the Rabbah holds it's not a mechila. But even the Rabbah would admit that if there was a kinyan, or even if there was mechila b'li kinyan, you couldn't go back. Only Elomai, Rabbah holds it's not mechila. There was no kinyan, and it's not mechila he holds.
Okay, so let me ask you a question now. Okay, why does Rabbah not define this as a mechila? There has to be a reason why, no? He says it's
meaning he's agreeing to do this thing, but he wasn't meichel the money. Is it considered now that I'm agreeing to take this, I'm meichel the original money in lieu of this? or it's really just the
I think you're
original,
right.
or
I
it's
think you're
or it's
right.
really just it's the original money, and not that I'm making you the original money. You owe me the original money, and I'm gonna take and I'm gonna be able to get it paid from you in this way. And now I'm changing my mind. I don't want it paid in this way. But
Yeah.
where according to Rav Sheish, it's the original money gone. I was
It's
making it, and now this is my
mashma.
money.
It's mashma from this, from what you're saying, and I agree with you that since it's not moichel le'ika choiv, right? What money which is owed to him, and it's only from where to retrieve the money. It's not real mechila. I understand that. It's mashma from the words of our Hezbollah over here in Rabbah, right?
Yeah,
That Lu Yetzuyer, he would be moichel the whole choiv. He wouldn't need a kinyan. It would be emes mechila.
right. Right. You
Shtickle
wouldn't need a
chiddush.
kidney.
It's a shtickle chiddush.
Yeah, so
But
it's a big chiddush, and not just a chiddush, it's a cloud that can be applied across the board. In
yeah,
any
yeah,
case
yeah,
of
yeah,
mechila is
yeah.
irreversible. Mechila is irreversible. La halacha pasku rif v'rosh v'tur kiraba. Shapayil yochel lachzer l'dvei mi balabais. Why? Not because they believe that a kinyan is reversible, and not because they believe that mechila is reversible, but rather because they agree with the Rabbah that in this particular case it's not considered mechila.
It would be good to see black and white, but I'm sure my conclusion is a true
Yeah,
conclusion.
this far. It's logically that's the only what do you call it?
Yeah, yeah, because like you said, Kol's man that is not moichel the actual choiv, and it's a minor issue where to retrieve the
Right,
money from. It's
right,
a
and it's all and
preference.
not just that.
It's a
Really,
preference. It's
not just
not.
that.
It's not
Not
a
just that. Really,
mechila.
really, really, I want my money. Okay, you're telling me I don't have money or whatever it is. And this is my only way out. So because listen, at the end of the day, I got to eat. So I'm going to accept this because it's better than nothing, right? It's better than a punch in the stomach.
Yeah.
Rabbi Shalom Vashetsky used to say, no, it's better, right? When somebody would give, when we would go collecting, and he would collect for Hadar Teda,
Yeah, yeah. I remember
and he
him.
would
Do
go
you
collect, and
remember
somebody,
him?
it's very well. For Baruch, I had the big schus to know him very well when I was a kid. My father and the B'tzal Malamed here, they were both very very close. So whenever we were in Crown Heights. And
Yeah.
that once they moved to Pittsburgh, that became very often. I would go with every other week for dollars. We would drive to New York
Really? From Philadelphia?
from Pittsburgh. So it's a
From
6 hour
Pittsburgh? How
drive.
far? How far is it?
It's a 6 hour drive. What my father would do was 8 hours because he would go Matzah Shabbos. We would leave. They would put me right after Shabbos Havdalah. They would put me in my pajamas and give me a duffel bag and throw me in the back of the car.
Yeah.
And I still remember my father would usually he would rent the car. He would rent back then was the place Park Avenues and this and that. You know how
You
you
left
upgrade and
you
stuff.
you left Pittsburgh Motzei Shabbos?
Matzah Shabbos. He
Yeah.
would drive until he felt tired. He would drive. Then he would go to in a truck stop and put his seat back and sleep for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Then continue to Crown Heights. We'd go to Crown Bagels. Then to Shachris.
Yeah.
Then Dollars. Then right after Dollars. Maybe you'd stay a little bit, meet people, friends, whatever.
Sure,
Go to
sure,
Crown.
sure.
Then we go to the Crown Restaurant in Borough Park by the
Yeah, sure.
Rubashkins, Crown
Rubashkin,
Restaurant,
yeah. You
and Mrs.
remember
Rubashkin.
yeah, big tzaddikas,
Yeah,
huge, massive tzaddikas,
yeah.
yeah.
And then we would go straight from there. We drive back to Pittsburgh by Sunday night to be back.
This was every week?
Every other week, and for sure if it was any if it was Shabbos before you Tes Kislev, Shabbos before you Shvat, Chaf of any Shabbos before anything. Yeah, we what they already knew that at least two that 1 out of 2 Sundays I'm missing school. What's it called? They already know we're by the lab. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
Wow.
funny. Agav, Mr. Bashkin, she when we would go to in later years, she
Yeah.
loved my wife very much because my wife is Russian, and then when she'd hear Russian, she would melt. Very much,
She
very
talk
much
Russian
love
with
my,
her.
yeah. She would, when soon as she would see her, she would come out and give her a big hug, and then she would tell them, bring her. She would bring her just on the house a soup and or a lamb chops or something. She always she loved
I
my
know
hug.
she, I know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big pelle how that restaurant ran.
It
She
was a
would
soup.
give food
It was
away.
a, yeah. I know, and I saw people came. Schnurri came. What's it called? She told him what's it, and the guy would eat. What's it called, right? And she would tell the lady, she charge him $5.
I know, I remember her very well with the tichel,
Yeah.
remember? She never had the shaitel on. She always had the tichel on.
Yeah. So anyway, so Shalom Mishetsky used to, he, whenever he would see my us, or we were B'tzal, whatever, he would always want to, come from if we were there for a Shabbos, because we were there probably one Shabbos. If it was the Yom of the Pagre, we would go not just for dollars, right? Shabbos before you discuss it, Shabbos for Shabbos, we'd go for the whole Shabbos,
So you mamish
just to,
chapterein,
to be by the Rebbe's Verbrengens.
you chapterein, you saw the Rebbe mamish,
So when we were there for Shabbos, Motzi Shabbos, yeah. So Motzi Shabbos, we would go, for, or sometimes Friday, whatever. Whenever we would go for a tea by Shalom Vyshetsky, and of course his tea would end up being rolls and tuna and salads, and he'd always say for a tea because he didn't want to, so he wouldn't think that you're burdening him. Oh, for a tea, okay, and then it would end up being,
wow,
anyway. So when he would collect
yeah.
this is what he would say. It's better. It was something like
Better
you go
what?
to a big gvir, and you would get a check for $18, and he would say, no, it's better than a punch in the stomach. So anyway, so the same thing over here, meaning, yeah, fine, you're accepting to do it, you're accepting to go to the store owner, but that's not your ideal. You're not really being Michael. Ideally, I want my money. Fine, this is all you're offering me. It's better than a punch in the stomach. Fine, I'll take it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
better than
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. Punch your stomach means that better than this and you don't pay me at all.
Right, exactly. So meaning it's not, so that's not really a mechila. It's not a
It's
mechila,
not,
believe of
it,
sholim.
right. It's
Like,
not
listen,
like that.
listen. When we first, what's it called? You told me, had you told me in the first place, I'm
Yeah.
gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you with my tab in Empire Kosher. Who says I would have taken the job at all? Now, b'di'evid, that's what you're offering me. What choice you're leaving me with? So it's not a mechila, believe of sholim. It's not really a mechila. But had it been a real mechila, everybody would agree that you can't go back on it. Shulchan Aruch Sif Yud Ein Bal Habayis Even Mishum Baltalin Ella Imkain Tave Yasachir. Right, and soon it's going to explain what is considered tavia. But you have to come to collect on it. He didn't claim it. Alternatively, he came to claim it, and he doesn't have the money. He mamish didn't have. It's interesting. I don't know why the Shulchan Aruch doesn't say Chenveni, only Shulchani. I don't know. The kibbel olav litin lai ain't over. Right, the Shulchani accepts to do it. Then the balabas is not even. Afilu ein the balabais biyad Shulchani klum. Even though the balabas does not have any, the Shulchani is not obligated to him in any way.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is he allowed to send a person to a chenveni if he has money, or what? Loy tovu is one
No,
case
it's mashma that yes.
yeah, oishe
It's mashma
tovu
that yes.
veloy
Why am I saying this? Because if he doesn't have the money, he's potted as a,
exactly. Oishe shimcho elzel shulchani liten lo vekibel liten loy eino oiver.
right. So it's mashma
Afilu
that
ein le
even
balabais
meaning,
biyad
again, like I
shulchani
said, the
klum.
balabais has the money, but he has a whole bunch of other obligations, and he tells him, listen,
Even the balabais even if the shulchani doesn't have any money belonging to
no,
the
the shul,
balabos.
right, meaning right, he has no obligation to him.
שהשולחני אינו חייב דובר לבעל
Yeah,
הבית. Because in that case, for sure, would be good.
right.
That's a pshat, you know what I'm saying? But even if he has nothing, so there's no real shibud over here between the balabos and the
Correct.
shulchani,
Correct. So he could, right.
even
If he
then
if
it's
he
good.
reneges,
Yeah.
the deal is off, right?
ומכל
Now,
לא
like
הסוכי
as we said
לחזור
above, this is
באיש.
talking about, so he has the money. If he doesn't have the money, he's off. Here he has the money, but he tells the worker, listen, I have money, but I have a lot of obligations, and it's really tight. Do me a favor. You need this for shopping. Go to the store and buy it on my tab.
Yeah.
Right? So we call makim like Rabba.
Yeah.
Im rotza hasach lachzer beishle lekabel me ashulchni ela me balabayis or shus be yodei.
Kivin she'eino, because it's not a mechila.
Because it's not a mechila, right? Rama, furthermore, im kanu miyodei. And certainly, if there was a Kenyan, he can't go back on it either.
You know, I have a big suffix. If Hareshus Biyodo, is it because it wasn't Belev Sholem, or is it because the mechila or where to retrieve your money is a very insignificant a situation that doesn't warrant a commitment? You know, okay, pay me with, you know what I'm saying? Or is it because it wasn't Belev Sholem?
No, it's because look,
I'm toying with two reasons why.
And look, you can see it from the fact that if there's a Kenyan, then there's a Kenyan. It's a done deal, right? So the question here is,
so what does a Kenyan do? So very good.
Is it Dvarim Ba'alma? But in this case, is it Dvarim Ba'alma, or is it a Mechila Belev Sholem? By a Kenyan doesn't have to be Belev Sholem. But a mechila has to be a meichel yutake.
I hold on like that. I hold that by you making a Kenyan, you show it's Belev Sholem.
Right, and even if you'll say not, but you made a Kenyan, so
you made a Kenyan.
Right, so I'm not going to believe you. It wasn't believe.
Actions are bigger than words. Actions are bigger than words.
Right, even if you're going to tell me it wasn't Belev Sholem, I'm going to tell you made a Kenyan. It was Belev Sholem. I don't believe you. Here, there's no Kenyan. So now we can ask.
I can touch up the Kenyan in two ways. I told you that that maybe the mechila is mechila, number one, because it's an insignificant part of the payment, whether to pay through the chenbani or direct payment or shulchani. It's a minor issue.
It's a sideshow.
And mechila is this shaykh of a kleinigkeit. You know, it's mamish a kleinigkeit over here. I want my money.
Yeah.
The ika, like you said, the ika, you're not moichel the choiv. You're not moichel the choiv. Right. So these are so be moichel tiazoi is the heshikam mechila. That's number one. That's one zugang. That's one way of looking at it. Right. Or you say
meaning almost like there was nothing really to be moichel.
Nothing to be moichel. So that's why he could be choizer. Right. And the second thing is, since he is melechatchila, he never agreed to that full-heartedly.
Right.
That's a different.
Listen, everybody agrees this is not the ideal way to get paid.
That's different. So then, by you making a Kenyan, you show that it's full-heartedly. So there's two ways.
Now, right, you locked in. You showed, yeah. You can look at it. Yeah,
it's too.
Yeah. Two different.
I don't know. It's
the same. Yeah.
This is a classical thing where if I had time, which I don't, I would dig it up.
Start looking into the CVs and looking into the
Abada, because I'm pretty sure. I'm sure they talk about it. I'm sure there's something to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sure somebody choose the finer points. Anyway, yeah.
Ilu zachinu, medaf ken sumeyo.
We're gonna, we talk. Have to be zeicha.
Medaf.
Actually, I should go with Mitzvah Hashem. I'm gonna be when
Lag Baimer?
No, Shabbos after Lag Baimer. I'm coming for my. Actually, my uncle's Yom Holedus is Lag Baimer.
Very nice.
But it's like smack in the middle of a week, so I can't. So we're gonna.
Mendel, we muss reißen the Himmeln. We muss reißen the Himmeln. Gewalt. You know, look at this. This is this thing is fancy saying this by the Faher. he'll finish you off.
But imagine we could Pasha would have we could sit like this all day. Not only that, then we could expand it to Ashir Chasidis also in there and
that's for sure. But you know something,
imagine an online Kalel every day. You know, full day Kalel.
If I know that I don't have anything else to worry about, what's at me, you know?
Right, what's the question?
Was a question, yeah. But
Yeah,
this is certainly something to bear in mind. If the reason why the reason for the seif is because it's nicht choshuv, it's the finer point of how to retrieve the money
right,
is a very very irrelevant. I need my money back. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
And therefore, there's not shaykh mechila of a mabekach.
right.
In
Right,
other words,
or alternatively, you could say that it's an important point, but it's b'di'evid. He would never have agreed to this.
he never did it. He
Right,
did it
his back
full
is against the
heartedly.
wall. That's why he's agreeing to it. Because what you
Exactly.
you know, yeah.
So these
There's
are the
two
two.
different mahalchim in the same. Yeah, that could be.
These are the two mehalchim that came into my mind. Anyway, if I hope I didn't mislead anybody, but that's
Which is
that.
interesting. Now that we say mahalchim, right? Is an
Yeah,
interesting. There's a word that many people, even people who are meduyak in dikduk,
yeah,
say wrong. I think it's the I believe it's the haftarah of Shabbos Chanukah,
yeah,
right? And everybody says mahalchim, right? Mahalchim va'imdim. Oh no, v'nosati lochem. Yeah, v'nosati lochem mahalchim bein ha'imdim, right?
yeah,
And this is not correct. It's not in that pasuk. It's not mahalchim. If you look at the nikud, it should be
yeah.
v'nosati lochem mahlichim.
Machlechim.
Mahlichim. There's a patach under the mem. Ma. The hey is a shva.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not
yeah,
mehalchim. Everybody reads it. They switch it around to the shva under the mem. The
yeah.
patach under the hey. Mehalchim. It's not. It's mahlichim. Anyway.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. We'll keep our eyes
Yeah.
open.
And I think the reason a lot of people, especially in Chabad, make a mistake with it is because mahlichim is one of the psukim that's used for the idea in Chassidus that we should be mahalchim, and in Chassidus the ideas of mahalchim and Eimed. So that's why in people's brain it's mahalchim, but it's really in the
Also,
pasuk.
in Hasidus, we darshan
In Chassidus
from
it's mahalchim. We call it mahalchim. Somebody's a mahalch.
but the Hasidus will darshan the pasuk which talks of mahlechim into
But the
mehalchim.
pasuk, the word is actually mahlechim.
Yeah, but the way the drosha is on mehalech.
The drasha is in Chassidus is fine, so we're changing the nikud to you're a mahalich. But actually in the pasuk it's mahlechim. And it's not just that, it changes the meaning. Mahalchim means those who go, right?
Yeah.
Mahlechim means a pathway to go, means space to go. I will give you space to go bein ha'imdim. Not I'm going to give you people who go in between. I'm giving you a path to go. Is mahlechim. It changes the meaning. Anyhow,
Murdik.
fine. So Mikol Makim says continues the Shulchan Aruch on top of the page. Imrotza hasachir lachzer beish lekabel shulchani el mibalabais harishus biyodei and Ramavim kanu miyodei liyochel lachzer bei. Fine. Hashita harevach v'peiskin is that the din of imcheyu eitz la shulchani, and it's interesting because I'm not sure why. I don't remember if somebody talks about this. Why does the Shulchan Aruch leave out chenveni? Why he only brings shulchani? But anyways, udavke behaskomas peil. Right? So like the way we read it before. Right? That imcheyu etel shulchani is like that's what we said before. It's only when we're talking about he made a haskama, and now the question is, can he go back on the haskama? So now the question is, how about a post-dated check? So a post-dated check nowadays, yesh lidmeisei lehimcheyu etzel shulchani. Umemela tzorich sha'apoyel yaskim lekabel check dochui. Right? Oh, I'm going to pay you. But here, but it's going to be. I'm dating it for next week. So you're not paying me then now. You're paying me next week. So he has to agree to it. And l'chura, not only does he have to agree to it, but if in the middle of the week he changes his mind, he can come back and be tevei again.
Unless he made a kinyan.
Right, unless maybe so I don't know. Maybe taking the check is like a kinyan of sorts.
You mean by you doing Mashiach on the check?
Yeah, but
Certainly,
really the check does. But really
I'm
the
not
check
denying.
doesn't. The check itself doesn't have a
I'm
is
not
not double
disagreeing.
pruta though.
I'm not disagreeing with you. No, but there is something about Moshe the check. No,
Maybe.
it's a
So,
geshtar.
meaning once I took the check, I'm showing at Bichlal also like in secular law.
Yes.
Well,
No,
no,
doesn't
secular law taking the check is nothing. Cashing the check is
okay. I
a
just
thing.
wonder if
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I just wonder if by you if the check has a din of shtar leniens, it has a din it's not
Right. So maybe a din shtar it could have because essentially that's what a check is.
yeah, but the question is the shtar
Right. Or do you have to? I don't know. Or do you have to
I don't know.
mashiach?
It's a good question. The question
Right.
is,
Anyway, right. So the question is going to be by a check. Fine. It's like a shulchan. It has to. So everybody agrees that it's going to have to be. Well, not everybody, but according to halacha, according to how it was paskin. So a post dated check is going to have to be agreed upon by the payil. The question is going to be, can you go back and change his mind? I don't know. Amnam check she'enei dachui. V'yesh shekosvu shebichlal ze gam im matay rechul oid kama yomim. Right? Or a bank transfer. This is the same. A check or a bank transfer is the same as I gave you money nowadays. Especially considering that money itself isn't really money anymore.
yeah, but hold on a second. You need time to clear the check.
Fine. So he says, "Af al av shahano mi'akesef ein miyodis." It's true.
What does the bracket say? V'yesh shekoshish b'chlal ze gam im
That
matay rechul.
even if it's post dated for a few days, it's okay. It just can't be post dated for longer.
Okay.
Anyways, and the ain tzarich b'zeh es haskomas hapayil. You don't have to have the payil can't say no, I want cash. And this is piskei and piskei.
I still understand why it says b'chlal ze gam tarichu le'od kama yomim. That's supposed
I
to
don't
be
know.
check.
I don't know why is that okay? He doesn't give an explanation.
And why is
And
it called?
honestly, I don't understand why that's okay.
And why did he call it enoi dochui?
Because it's post
It is a
dated.
post check. It is a
Yeah.
post check.
So why is a few days? Not only that, if you're going to tell me a few days, where do you draw the line? What's a few days and what's not a few days? So I don't know.
Weiter. Kates lehimonea me'isul baltolin.
And it Kate's Lemaan Yilmedu Sikumim van Hagaru Midas Chasidis. Kosav, right? And if you want to know Midas Chasidis, so you look where Kosav b'Shulchan Aruch Harav. Gedei hachachamim hayu neyagim lischir peilim al yedei shliach. Sheyemar scharchem al baal habayis. Right, like we learned in the Gemara. Kidei shelo yavoyu lavir b'leisasa im yu trudim v'lo lehem penai lefeirim bizmanim, because as we know that Baltolin applies even if you didn't have time. So therefore, to make sure you're not leaving on a deiraisa.
So Shomer scharchem al balabayis.
Yeah, like we had this story before, Rabbi Yehud.
But that's meaningless. He's not mechuyev.
Right, that's the point. That's why they would do that. That's exactly why they do it. That's the reason to do it. So you
The
so
chiddush is that
and so that the shliach shouldn't be mechuyev.
And the chiddush is that it's not considered genebas das, because it is a little bit of a knunia, because he's having the other guy on a little bit. The other guy feels good about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
oh, the Balabos is going to take, and him should care from them. Fine.
But it's also true. Listen, at the end of the day, he doesn't want to pay them himself. Of course, he wants the balabos to pay them. Why should I pay them and then have to deal with the balabos?
Okay.
Right? Ve'im ef sheral yidei shliach. Then toiv lahasnis im hasocher b'shosh seichre al menos shaloi yischayev lepeire bizmane.
Do you know what's going on over here? He's the balabos nem tachreis them. When he says the schar, the thing of the balabos, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no. He's taking a chrayis, but first of all, the chrayis anyways is supposed to be on him.
Yeah.
Elamai, he's taking it, meaning he's what he's doing is he's splitting it. He's splitting it so that the shliach is hiring and he's paying, and that way neither of them has to worry about batalin.
Now, if in case of the event he doesn't pay him, right?
Yeah.
In case of it doesn't pay him, so then even though Baltolim, the balabos is not chayiv Baltolim, but he's still chayiv on the Drabonan Dika one, no?
If he has the money and the time, yeah.
He has money at the time.
Remember, the whole point here, why are we doing it? We're doing it because in case the day ends up being busy and I didn't have the time. So now I'm gonna have a big problem. So I'm gonna pay him when I have the time. Now, if I intentionally slap him, yeah, then for sure. Not only am I even on the Rabbanon, if I intentionally if I'm intending not to pay him, I'm even on like 6 I'm even on all a bunch of other stuff over there. I'm even on don't oppress him. I'm even on don't steal from him. I'm even on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is all I'm intending to pay you. Not only I'm intending to pay you, I'm intending to pay you as fast as I can. What I'm worried about is that it's gonna, it's in the winter, and Shkia kommt, 6:45, 6:30, whatever it is, maybe earlier. Earlier it could be in the winter.
Look at this. Look what he says over here.
4:45, 4:30, 4:45 is Shkia. Now what happens? It's 4:30 in the day. It's still part of the work day. I didn't have time to pay you. I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to have batolin. So therefore, I send the shliach. And if I can't send the shliach, we also know that if we made a tanai, that I'm not going to pay you till later. It's also not batolin. So then you should make a tanai that I'm hiring you al minas, that I don't have to pay you today. I'm going to try to pay you today, but I'm not mechuyev to pay you today. And if you can agree to that, so I don't have to worry about batolin, then I'll hire you. Why? Right? Like we said, electric bill is due, so I need to push you out for a day. Even says the Alter Rebbe, what means Chassidus? Let's say I don't have the money, so I'm not even on anything, right? Because I'm not even. But even Baltolan, even the Rabbanon is only when I have the money. Even if you don't have the money, says the Alter Rebbe, Midas Chasidus Lilvais Lefroya Lisachar Bizmani. The Midas Chasidus is go whatever you have to do. Go take a bank loan, go borrow from somebody. That should be your problem and not your worker's problem. And pay him right away. Bizmani. Right? Meaning the Shulchan Aruch is saying, don't rely on this thing and then Dafka go pay him after the day. You should still try to pay him on the day. The only reason you're doing that thing is if it happened that way. The day got out of control. But the Chatchila, try to pay him right away, and even if you have to borrow money to pay him, so borrow money and pay him. So it's good to pay him and not to rely on this t'nai. You made the t'nai just as a backup plan that you shouldn't be avid.
The t'nai which is brought down in Shach b'shem Sefer Chasidim.
Yeah.
That you should be upfront with him. He says, listen, it could be that I'll be a few minutes late. It could be I'll be a half a day late.
Right.
Please, be more. That's considered mechila.
No, he made a t'nai it's even better than mechila.
Yeah, it's a t'nai. It's not mechila.
The t'nai is in the first place. Mechila is still b'di'evet. I mean, mechil you.
Yeah,
this wasn't how I wanted it to go.
Right. Very good, very good.
This is right from the beginning, right? And even with this t'nai, that kol t'nai sheb mamen kayim, the afal pi chayim yuchel efrei bizmani toiv lefeirei v'leilis mechal t'nai. Ki anihu ve'elavu nesi is nafshe, like the pasuk says. At the end of the day, how is a chassid gonna watch somebody in even fine? Listen, we made it tnai. It tnai is a tnai, but
No,
I'll
but
tell you how can I watch another Jew who needs the money and I'm not doing everything I can to make sure I pay him in time, even though takwe at tnai.
Even if I'm not over, that's a
Yeah,
pshat. Even if
yeah.
I'm not over,
Even if I'm not able anything.
right? Or the film shows adin zecher.
Now what's considered tviyah? The Avos Chesed says that even that the Payil did not um, demand his pay.
Is this Avos Chesed from the Chofetz Chaim?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
49.
I
It's
think so.
Grad.
I've seen
It's
it. I think
Grad
my son
Nesiva
has it.
Chesed, but Avos Chesed is from the Chofetz Chaim. This is
Yeah,
that's yes for sure.
that's what I thought. My son has a sefer.
Yeah, Sefer Avos Chesed, Sefer Avos Chesed Chofetz Chaim.
Somebody gave it to him for his bar mitzvah, so I've seen it around. I have the more famous form of the Chofetz Chaim, like the famous one, the Sefer Chofetz Chaim, or the other one. But I didn't. I was chesed. I wasn't sure that he would even speak about this because it's a
Yeah.
Musa Sefer. It's not really a Halacha Sefer. Rabbi Shapoy lo tovas chore befeirush.
Elo higia el balabayis la'achar shesiyah malachti kenohug harizeh ke'ilu tova befeirush. Shekain yesh laniach that what? He's misbayish. He's embarrassed to ask explicitly. And therefore, according to this, a house helper, when she finishes her work and tells the balabas that she's finished, right? She's not gonna, right? Because it's she's embarrassed to come and say, I'm finished, give me my money. When she's saying she's finished, she's hinting to you, and can I have my money, please? This is considered that she's asking for her money.
Daile Hakima Beremiza,
Right. And so too, an hourly worker, when he hands, I mean, obviously, we're not talking about in a company where where you hand in your hours and the haskama is you get paid the next Thursday or whatever it is. But
and the same
right,
thing with
the guy came and he worked by you, and you hired him by the hour to do some handyman work in your house to fix some things. Right, you're paying him by the hour, and he comes at the end of the day and he gives you the hours he worked. Okay, and he's not telling you, okay, now pay me, because he's giving you the hour. He says it's embarrassing to say that, so he's giving you the hours and he's hinting, okay, here's my hours, now pay me for them. Or an avrich from Kalil who
it's timesheet. He gives it
that
in.
puts in, yeah, he puts in his attendance
Hours.
sheet, they call it, yeah, his attendance sheet. It's also them. So again, unless there's a haskama otherwise, which oftentimes there is, right? Oftentimes haskama is you turn your timesheet in by you turn your timesheet in Thursday and or Friday or whatever, and the following Monday or Thursday or whatever it is, you get the we cut the checks. But otherwise, it's when you turn it in, that's when it's what yesh lahesif she'imeduber. If it's talking about a kailul that you don't have to give an attendance sheet at the end, it's still Baltolin still applies to him according to the opinion that we had before that the younger man in Kail is considered like an employee. Right, because he's embarrassed to go to the Reisha Kol and ask him for money. Tell him to pay me. So he relies on you to just to pay him, right? So it's like he did at Taviyah. And Memela, once the time comes, it's an automatic Taviyah. Since that's payday, it's an automatic Taviyah. So to a babysitter, the parents come back and she's leaving. She doesn't say anything. It's embarrassing for her to say anything. So they should pay her without her having to say anything. And even her silence is not considered a mitzvah. Rather, it's considered a mamish tviyah, because the tviyah of the worker is not really a t'nai for Baltol in and of itself. Right? It's not an intrinsic thing that you have to be teveya. You can have Baltolin without a tviyah. So why did we say before that if he wasn't teveya, there's no Baltolin? That's because generally speaking, when a worker isn't teveya, we're assuming that he was meichel d'zman. However, there has to be an actual basis for this. Whereas in these cases, it's not a basis for it. It's meaning if the usual thing is that somebody wouldn't come and say something, right? Because it's rude, whatever it is, then they don't then no tviyah is necessary. So this is a big chiddush that actually a tviyah is not necessary in because before we learned that right that a tviyah is necessary for Baltolin.
Yeah.
So here he says no, it's
This is
not
not tviyah.
necessary.
This is
It's just that in many cases, if there's no tviyah, if the guy didn't come and ask for it, we can assume he doesn't care if you don't pay it right away until he's teveya, and then when he's teveya, then okay, now he does care. So now I got to give it to him. But if he wasn't, but however, in any case where there's no basis to say this, we will not say this. Safe Solik session 17.
beautiful. We need Siyata Dishmaya because we have five
Fine,
more procs.
we anyways need siyata d'shmaya.
Yeah. This is yeah. We're gonna tell you.
The good thing is in the Fahet this afternoon, if you get it wrong, it doesn't really matter.
Who says that?
It doesn't.
No,
it's true.
It's not part of the
It's not counted.
cheshbon
It's not
of your.
counted at all. You don't know. Brunswick is right. It's not counted at all in the thing. Especially right. Especially when it's guys that Rav Kasimov and everybody else knows. We take time to learn this stuff. You know what I mean. we take time to learn it. And we go deep in.
I think this Faher is much harder than last Faher.
It is, but this part of it is really a formality. And the problem, really, what happens is we talk ourselves into getting nervous. We start thinking like, what if I get the question wrong? It's imagine it's just a guest shear giver, and he wants to discuss the topic with us. That's it. That's all
I want to tell you something. I have Faher traumas since some.
By the way, I still do. I still do.
Too.
And the funny thing is, you know how they say like, and I wrote the book on it. Fine, I didn't write the book, but I translated it at the very least.
Can I tell you something?
I have a thing, and all of a sudden my mind can go blank in the middle of Faher.
I'll tell you.
The Faher trauma is why it doesn't count.
Right.
Let me tell you.
They know that not everyone does well in a one-on-one Faher that you have 2 seconds to answer.
Not only that, it's worse than one-on-one. It's one-on-one with the whole peanut gallery watching.
Yeah. I think this is worse than one-on-one in a way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Bedidi.
And it's even worse when people got the weird idea that I'm supposed to know it better than them somehow, just because I did a translation. So that means I know it better than somebody else. So it's even worse.
You don't put prima gaudiums.
Oh yeah, exactly right. I haven't seen a single one over here. Wait, I should tell him he can't ask me anything. There's no prima gaudiums.
Let me tell you, talking about Faher traumas. The Rabbi Mentelik, Olav Shalom, was a Shishiv in 770, would come to Morristown once a year to Faher.
Yeah.
And you had there like 40 guys in the room. He Fahed all 40 guys. That's what it was. An hour and a half, 2 hours. He asked you one question and this and that. He came to me. He asked me a question. I told him. He said, "Say the Gemara." And says the Gemara says, he asked me a question, and I said, "This Tosfos asked a question." So he says, "So what does Tosfos say?" And I told him, he said, "You want to say inside?" I said inside, explained it, everything good. Then he asked me a question on Tosfos. Listen to this. This is a true story. I was shaking in my pants. he asked me a question on Tosus. I says, there are three answers. He says, Dianthus? He says, who's that? The Marsha gives an answer, the Maharam gives an answer, and the Rashal says an answer. At the back of, says, you want to tell me the answers? I said all three answers. So I did the Gemara, I did the Tosus, I did the Marshal, the Maharam, and the Marsha, right? Then he asked me a question on something, on what I said. And
Next level.
Yeah, Shmulik Heber goes behind Mentlik. He moves his chair like that, behind Mentlik, and he goes like this. Like, don't answer it.
Why? Because it's going to keep going.
No, because you don't. This is like out of your league.
Right.
He goes like this to me, like very basic, but Mentlik didn't see him. And so he says to me, so I said, ich weiß nicht.
So you waited and he answered it.
So he said to me, listen to this. He says, the Maharam Shik asked this question. I was 16, 17 years old.
Right. You know the funny thing is though.
What was he trying to do? I know what he was trying to do.
It's like to you, it feels almost like I failed. Right?
Oh.
To everybody else, it's impressive how far you were able to carry the conversation. And by the way, if you would have answered the Marash and the Maram Shik, watch him come up with something else.
He would have, if I would have known right. What was he trying to do? I'll tell you what he was trying to do. The pessimistic way of looking at that is that he's trying to show you that
he's trying to slug you up and show, you think you know something.
You know something. That's what I thought at the time, and I was